Let's get this party started, okay? We don't have time. I have 6 hours until I got to be up to go to my vacation. But I wanted to get on here and do this last thing because it's a Hasan video from Willie Mack. It's a double banger. The best content creator, Hasan, and a video speaking positively about him to the worst content creator, Willie Mack. Just kidding. I like Willie Mack's last video. I actually want to do this now because I don't think I'll be able to do anything for like 4 days at least, because, you know, those are the main 4 days. It's funny because after I got off a stream, I had a request to talk about the Brittany Broski thing. So I've been just like on fire. If I do any content during this week, you know, I would recommend following the Discord. You can join it if you're a member or not, but only members have access to the chats and stuff. But you don't need to be a member for me to, if I potentially live stream, it'll be through Discord, and you don't have to be a member. If I do that, you'll be able to see it just fine. The channel that will be visible to you, that you'll be like, I think it's just the welcome channel, and then this channel down here, which is fan chat, and that's where I would do it through. So you don't have to be a member or anything, but I might not be able to actually legitimately stream, but I would do it through there probably. Anyway, let's do this video, man.
Weeks since we've talked about Hasan. It has been 1 week since we've talked about Hasan's terrible political career, full of hypocrisy,
Only a week.
Reporting stories, and shifting the goalpost when he's wrong, all while villainizing anyone who disagrees with him.
What a
Remember when Hasan called me fat?
liar,
Not nice.
dude. What a Weasley little liar, dude.
After criticizing Hasan for his React content, a lot of Hasan fans criticized me for my React content, shaming Hasan for stealing content while you're literally stealing Hasan's content. Interesting.
I think the criticism from Willie Mack was specifically that he'll get up and walk away and not do anything sometimes. Not all the time, but sometimes, which is not transformative. Whereas he just takes clips. But I know Willie's okay with React content, because my understanding, he seems to be very positive about my reactions to his content, because we're in love. I'm not gay. He's the gay one, but we are in love. No, but he's a cool guy. You know, he pops up in my comments and stuff.
It should be obvious, but me only using the necessary parts of Hasan's content to make my point is not the same as him reacting to an entire video, barely paying attention, leaving partway through.
True.
Then Monday morning.
Twice. And then coming back completely lost on where he is.
Guys, I was watching on my phone. I was on my phone watching.
Or what's going on.
Wait, he heard the shots. He had looked.
Did I accidentally go forward or backwards?
If you don't know, it probably means you weren't paying attention and what you're doing isn't fair use.
Sometimes when I'm watching a video, I'll accidentally hit like this button. It's called the 0 button. It puts you at the 0 mark, and it pisses me off. So I do that sometimes. I don't know if that's what he did though, but
oh, it probably means you weren't paying attention and what you're doing isn't fair use. You never mentioned that Hasan gets permission from creators to watch their vids.
He doesn't. Some people are cool with it, but like he doesn't get permission from everybody. That's nonsense. He operates in the way that like most of us operate as like reactors, is that you react, and if somebody hates it, you take it down, and they'll message you and they take it down. That's it. And yeah, Willie is a phenomenal. I think he's probably one of the best, honestly. Content creators. I think he's one of the probably the most. He puts content together very well. He's very intelligent. But he does like the post consent. We live in like a sphere on YouTube where the culture is like reaction is fine as long as there's enough of a transformative reaction. You're saying enough for there to be a transformative reaction, right? And that's fine. But when you're getting up in the middle of a stream and like you can't do that. I pause anytime I get up to piss. You can't just get up and decide, like, oh, this is fine. My stream needs to be entertained. It's like ridiculous.
Dude, if you're going to do a hit piece on someone, don't lie or omit the truth. It is true that Hasan says he only reacts to creators he has permission from.
Like, don't leave the video running when you get up.
100%.
To go pee.
Yeah, you can't.
That's just something that Hasan still does to this day.
That's like pretty basic.
Chatted $1.99. Ballsack Part 2.
I agree. Thank you so much.
Big stuff.
You stopped doing that?
I only do it with, I usually only do it with my videos that I know.
I usually only do it. Well,
are from my friends. Like Noah Samson, Second Thought, things like that.
But he's
okay.
Bold-faced lying. He does it to everybody's videos, not just his friends. Let me know.
And he just lies to Ethan all the time about everything, doesn't he?
Whose video was reacted to by Hasan where he left twice, said that he's never given Hasan permission.
I don't mind people reacting to my videos, but I do mind when they play the entirety of my video. A face cam in the corner or the occasional interruption does nothing to address that issue.
Sure, fair enough.
My video is still being played from beginning to end in someone else's stream or video. You know, they could do the bare minimum and ask for permission. Something that none of the major reaction channels have ever done when
Damn, you should take him down. Copyright strike.
they've streamed or re-uploaded my videos.
So don't call me a liar when he's the one lying to you. If you're a Hasan fan, he does this to you constantly. I don't know.
You know, I'm a little upset nobody's mentioned I got a haircut, but okay. Fuck all you guys. This stream's been going for like 10 minutes and not a single word about it.
Why anybody would want to get their news through this guy. Wouldn't you want somebody who's consistent, reliable, and stylish?
But he's very consistent in his lies, of course. And he's stylish.
Like Ridge. I think we
Oh my god.
all know that one person that's not easy to buy gifts for. Maybe they've been carrying around that fat, bulky wallet for over 10 years. Well, Ridge might be the perfect gift. Ridge simplifies the wallet.
Hey guys, get Ridge Wallet. Use code WillardMackleton for your wallet. It's a little $91 is crazy. But you know what? Maybe it's very secure. Maybe it has one of those things that stops people from being able to scan your card. You can put the keys in it.
From wallet.
It's got some keys and it's orange. Well, ridge.com/WillyMac for up to 30% off, dude. That's what it is.
Really frustrating
I got memed on Reddit for what?
that like this is a fundamental thing I believe in and I advocate for and I practice what I fucking preach, and yet motherfuckers still always say that I am actually fake.
A lot of Hasan
He's a very fake person, of course.
fans are mad at me because I called Hasan a fake socialist.
Oh, you see, compliment my haircut. Thank you.
A hypocrite. Aw, socialism man has money. Socialism man bad. You are not allowed to critique capitalism if you have money, lol. No,
Again, because I made this point in my video and people are still fucking annoying about it. You can be like a rich socialist. There's nothing wrong with that. But Hasan is a capitalist, okay? He doesn't care. And the biggest thing that I use to say like, hey, here's a huge issue I have with Hasan. And dumb fucks boil it down to like, oh, so he has money? No, is this. Hasan is the most influential, probably the most influential political streamer out there, even though he's dumb as fuck. Probably why he's so influential, because he's a fucking moron. Okay? He constantly criticizes Amazon for being like the worst, most oppressive company in Western, you know, in like America. Okay. So what does he do? He makes them more rich by specifically aligning himself with Twitch. Twitch is a subsidiary of Amazon. So he takes an exclusivity contract. That means he has to stream at a certain number of hours per day, like 8 to 10 hours per single day. Okay. Now, what he could have done instead, if he actually was a social advocate, was use Twitch, but at the same time use another platform like YouTube, or make his own website. Destiny has his .gg that he could have used if Hasan really wanted to try to basically, you know, what is it called? Fucking petition or whatever the fuck it's called. Boycott, whatever. And pull people to that platform. He didn't do that. Okay, so what does he do? Now that he has to stream a certain amount of time per day, he will react to content where he doesn't actually do transformative reactions. He does sometimes. Sometimes he just sits there, gets up, goes pee, leaves the video running. Because there's no way that every single video that you come up, that you're like, I turn videos off sometimes if I feel like there's not a lot to say. So that's what he's doing. So, and then when people are like, hey, you're literally just watching the content, we consider that stealing because you're not transforming enough, you're not saying enough, you're not applying enough commentary. He goes, I have to do it because I have an exclusivity contract that he didn't need to do because he's rich in the first place. So that's where he exists, is that he compromises constantly on whatever fake performative moral value that he pretends to have over and over again and justifies it. That's all it comes down to. Okay? Bernie Sanders is also a rich socialist. You don't see him compromising on his moral values, but Hasan is. So
iPhone equals socialist? Please read just a crumb. Please, I beg you. I never called Hasan a hypocrite because he's rich. I called Hasan a hypocrite because he advocates that companies should profit share with their employees while he pays his employees absolutely nothing.
As a socialist, right? Does that carry over to your Twitch?
To
your
who?
podcast?
To who? To what?
To
Like,
editors? To moderators?
Yes.
So you're paying moderators or a head of moderation?
No, not editors and not moderators. I don't want moderators to come on board exclusively because they want to, you know, use this as a job opportunity.
that's just the dumbest thing ever. That's not, first of all, it's not exclusive. You'd be able to parse through, hey, this guy's been a fan for 2 years. Let me pay him to do it. That's number one. Number two, he's giving you a bullshit excuse to not actually pay his moderator. If I could pay moderators, I would. I don't even have moderators. So I guess I do pay him because that's myself, dude. Fuck you. It's an excuse. Oh, I don't want my mods to only want a mod for... If anything, you'd get a higher quality of mod because you imagine that a mod who's showing up, assumably, for a majority of a stream or a significant amount of it, if they have an actual job, they wouldn't be able to do this. So, you know what I mean? So, like, instead, you're getting fucking idiot babies that don't work coming on, which we know is true. Hasan's mods are idiot fucking babies because they're sitting there, and despite Hasan claiming that he's friends with Ethan, which he's not, Hasan has been using Ethan from the start. They come on and they bully and harass. Like, there was one of his mods said something like really shitty to Ethan the other day, and Hasan's like, yeah, well, there's not a lot I could do because I'm a fucking idiot that doesn't know how to hold people to a standard. If that's your friend, you need to tell people, hey, stop being an asshole to my friend. Like, what the fuck?
Beanie Boy super chatted $9.99. Have a good vacation, Papa. Nice haircut.
Thanks, brother.
Sign 12 super chatted $1.99. Hey, Papa. Use this money to get a new haircut.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks, asshole. You guys are a piece of shit. Thank you so much. Thanks for the $9.99. I appreciate that. As for the $2, not enough money. Pussy. Give me more. I'm kidding. Don't give me more money. I really appreciate it.
That's subjectively hypocritical, and let's face it, it's just funny to watch Hasan act like he's a blue-collar worker on stream, acting like he's shocked when he hears how expensive people's homes are.
Glass doors, which is absolutely horrible for audio quality.
Dude, this is like unimaginable wealth, dude. How the fuck do people make this much money? $2.9 million near Las Vegas? Dude.
That's how much he makes. What?
Oh my fucking lord, dude.
He bought a $3 million house.
No,
in
I had to
Castle
put
in
up
Las
a
Vegas.
wall.
Bro, he bought a
Who is he getting? What? That's what I'm talking about. That's cosplay. Oh, this person can afford a $2.9 million home? By the way, I bought a $3.2 million fucking house. Hasan is performative. Listen, don't trust Hasan. I used to clean up piss, shit, vomit, and period blood at my jobs. Okay, I'm middle class, motherfucker. I don't want to be. Okay, I want to be rich. And I'm not fucking ashamed of it. But that's who I am. Bro, you know, there's this one woman when I used to work at my job. There was this one woman, and she used to, every Thursday and Friday night, she used to go out drinking. And you know what she did? There were these in this type of bus, there were these perimeter of seats in like almost a square. So it was like 1, 2, 3, then one next to it, and on the other side there was one, like 2 seats here. You know, she would just get up and piss and period blood on every one of those things. It's disgusting. That's what I used to do. So,
$3 million house for himself the next month. What is he talking about? Not a Hasan fan.
but I need it for my mommy.
But what a misinformed and ignorant take. The dude is literally the most consistent political streamer in
Him streaming a lot doesn't make him consistent. He's a fucking idiot.
existence.
And his consistency,
At least if you're going to lie on...
his consistency boils down to West bad. That's all it is. He'll suck the cock of the Chinese government and be like, yeah, they're not too bad. They're actually doing pretty well, even though like the people are throwing themselves on the top of factories. But America bad because they exist. Even though America and other Western countries are like the leaders of, you know, good values of not oppressing women and LGBTQ people, right? But we forget about that part.
Someone make it believable. It's time to stop! How do you convince someone of something when they're so stuck in their worldview, they ignore all...
Yeah, you know you're trolling. I'm gonna fucking... Can you be more charitable to Hasan? It's not like he supports a violent terrorist group or a raging hypocrite. I'm seriously reconsidering my support for you. I agree with that. Thank you. Give me $2.
Your receipts. It's impossible.
Don't
The
give money,
old
guys.
adage must be true. You can't argue with stupid.
People need to be
True.
told to shut the fuck up. People need to be told that they are wrong all the time.
Yeah, you are wrong all the time.
Hasan hates any and all journalism that goes against his worldview. 3 years ago, a video went viral of a man holding a BLM sign in what was apparently the most racist town in America. The video is 2 minutes long and features people threatening to kill him, calling him the N-word, and Hasan loves it.
This is braver than the troops, okay? I'll just say this right now. What he's doing is
Braver than troops, incredible.
sometimes we use that as a joke. They say like, "Oh, this man's braver than the troops." But
To be fair, he's consistently making excuses for leaving videos while walking away. True, you're right. He's very consistent.
like what he's doing is literally just straight up putting his life on the line without any sort of protection or Kevlar or anything. How many of these people are off-duty cops? Okay, probably 0 of them because none of them tackled him and beat the shit out of him while the camera was on.
Jidion saw this video last year and decided to do some citizen journalism to see if this...
To be clear, you saw the same video Hasan
Jesus
saw,
Christ, super
not necessarily
chatted
Hasan's
$2.
video.
Hi, first time in stream. Love your based racism.
Thanks. Why do you keep doing that every day? First time in the stream. Okay.
Video was an accurate portrayal of the town's citizens. He went there and discovered that the town had a bad rap.
I'm not gonna lie, when I did come here and stuff like that, you know, hearing that it's the most racist town in America, I was just, you know, going on expecting it, like, you know, the racism and stuff like that, making a video, you know, like, oh man, this is what happened to me. But as I got here, I realized, I said, I cannot put that connotation on this town because I am not experiencing that, you know?
Hasan didn't like Jidion's findings, so he frames him off rip as a white apologist.
I thought to myself, not only
to be clear, I covered this too. I have a very long coverage of it. It's 2 hours. I'll put it in the description. The reason I'm saying that is because what was really fucked up is like Hasan's first thing he said was like, oh, Jidion's just whitewashing, and basically he's just making this content for like white people or something. It came off as like very ignorant and racist to me, and that's what I had reported on originally. I recommend you going and watching that video, but it was like gross. He was so quick to dismiss Jidion and what he was doing. You know, there were some things that he said like, oh, racism isn't just saying the N-word anymore, but for the most part, he came into that very bad faith, and probably because Jidion had criticized Pokemon or whatever the year before, or like hate rated her, you know, as a joke, and so he was very like negative to Jidion. But like, yeah, it was like shitty, of course.
content creator, but also as a black man, I had to go to this town and find out firsthand the truth about the most racist town in America.
All right, so
Please tell me he's not gonna whitewash this.
See, it's like, hey, I wanted to go find the truth about this, and I'm a black man, which should mean something. He's a black guy. He knows what it's like to be black. And the sound's like, oh, don't tell me he's gonna whitewash it. Like
the truth about the most racist town in America.
All right, so
please tell me he's not gonna whitewash this shit, right? Please. So one thing that we need to
it's just like, what the fuck, right? To me, why that choice of words? It sounds like he's trying to dog whistle. I'm a son too. I could say dog whistle. Trying to say that, like, invalidate Jidion's blackness. That's how it comes off to me. I know that the word whitewashing, it could also, you know, just mean that, like, reframing, but like, why that choice of words? I don't know. I don't think it's unreasonable to say, considering this is a person who yells at trans people for being trans.
Always establishes that, like, just because a fucking town is racist, one, doesn't mean that they're going to be, like, literally running around and doing hate crimes to every black person they see. I don't know why Americans have such a twisted and broken understanding of what racism is, which is weird.
Yeah, it's Americans, dude. Americans. Like, no offense, I'd argue that Western countries are the least racist countries in the entire world. So it's funny when you're like, I don't know why Americans, when you live in Turkey, and he admits that there's like a huge fucking issue where there's a group of people in Turkey that are treated worse than black people are in America, like substantially worse. But somehow it's Americans that have like a really warped sense of what racism is. Yeah, it makes perfect sense.
Moving the goalpost, the original video that Jidion is investigating showed people being openly and aggressively racist for 2 minutes straight.
True.
What he's saying has nothing to do with anything. When Hasan finishes the video, he calls everyone who enjoyed it racist.
All the comments are eating it up. Yeah, bro, if you're a racist little white zoomer and you're watching Jidion, of course you're gonna love it when your favorite black comedian is, you know, feeding into your worldview that, like,
see, what is he saying there? He's saying that Jidion is dancing for the white man. That's what he's saying. That is just what he's saying. If you're just like, I don't see it, you're wrong. Rewatch, listen to what he just said. He's saying Jidion is performing for white people. That's what he's saying here.
Comedian is, you know, feeding in favorite black comedian is, you know, feeding into your worldview that, like, you know, being racist in an Xbox lobby is just memes.
People in his chat who criticized Hasan's takeaway, he would then also call racist while being racist.
Wow, looking for racism when someone actively trying to bridge a gap? What gap, dude? What gap? You can't bridge a gap with the Klan, you dingus. God damn, that's the most Caucasian take I've ever heard in my entire goddamn life.
Like, the only thing that you could reasonably criticize Jidion on was towards the end, he ended up trying to have a conversation with like a legitimate like KKK member, and like that. Yeah, that you could argue that that's wrong. I think Jidion's take was, I just wanted to talk to the guy and like see if I could pull some of his audience to me. Whether it worked or not is one thing. The problem is that wasn't Hasan's criticism. From the start, he was already trying to downplay and just like take down and dismantle everything Jidion said and did. So when you get to that point, you understand his intention isn't necessarily to be intelligent. It's just that he's just trying to shit on Jidion any way he can.
What the f do you mean, bridge a gap?
If your go-to reaction when you're mad is to go after somebody's skin color, that says a lot about you. He's also saying that the town is home to the Klan, which is not true.
No, it was the next town over.
That's a different town, which Jidion explains in his video.
They said that this place was like the most racist town in America.
It's also weird when Jidion does on-the-ground reporting and Hasan is just says he's a goofy comedian. Well, yeah, it's because Hasan is also an on-the-ground person. You didn't know that?
America, but like what have you seen here that you would like deem maybe racist?
Out in Zeke, which is probably like a 20-minute drive, the leader of the Ku Klux Klan or whatever lives out there.
So this isn't the racist town, Zeke.
Oh wow, Hasan misrepresenting the facts of his situation. It's like he's made a career out of it. Hasan is the self-described.
Like at that point, Hasan would have to argue, yeah, he's asking these the townspeople questions about whether it's racist or not, and they're saying that it's a different town, but they're wrong. They're wrong about it. They're actually internally magically racist based on what? Just because I said so and it's America and America bad.
On-the-ground journalist who only reports from his bedroom.
Me going live and giving you 10 hours of on-the-ground, 10 hours of reporting from the ground.
From the ground, dude. He is touching the ground.
And
although I imagine that his house is elevated because it's a $3 million home. So he's probably not even on the ground.
At a critical moment, at a critical time.
And then he spends his time discrediting actual on-the-ground journalism because it doesn't fit his worldview.
You're like, I can't watch a video that is like already accrued, okay? 3.4 million views over the course of the past 24 hours that is inherently political, that is about possibly this person, either A, whitewashing white supremacists, or B,
the whitewashing white supremacists, baby.
Not. Shut the fuck.
How do you whitewash white supremacists? Why are you going in this thinking that I'm gonna go in here trying to make white supremacists look good? Like, why is that your first thought? Like, why? Like, do you think I think that little of my race that I'm gonna go in there to like try to like make it look like white supremacy is great and stuff like that?
I mean, that does seem to be Hasan's comment section's takeaway.
I literally had someone in this comment section say,
well, yeah, basically to Hasan, you're not really black if you disagree with him, right? He's got that Joe Biden defense on him.
Hey, I don't even know what racism is, and I went on their profile picture, and they were a white person, and they were saying that I don't know what racism is. How are you gonna tell me in my 21 years of life I don't know what racism is? And
it's Hasan, dude, he knows because he's black.
Because I didn't push a narrative of a 3-minute video.
That you missed Jidion before he converted. Why? He's very religious now, right? That's his whole.
Patrick's the Angler super chatted $5. He's always been on the ground.
True.
On his knees begging his uncle for a platform, and now always on the ground in his $3 million mansion. Radical of the people.
True. Yeah, he did. He did go religious, right?
And I'm not gonna lie, y'all. I never thought
my Christian channel. Wow, he really changed it up a little bit, huh? Is this like a troll? I might check this out on vacation. I don't know. This is interesting. I might do like a whole Jidion thing just to see what's going on with this.
Man, I'm
curious.
That was showing people saying racist things. I actually showed the good of a town and stuff like that. I'm not smart enough, or I don't understand.
He does it because
you wonder if he's just kidding. I do too. I wonder if it's like a long troll or something.
You disagreed with them.
All the girlies say I'm pretty fly for a white guy.
I spent a large majority of my last video criticizing Hasan's poor news coverage.
And his fake crying was fucking hilarious.
And since then, has he taken the criticism in good faith, becoming a better political commentator? No, of course not. It's Hasan. He's delusional. He hasn't changed a bit. He will still sit there blindly saying stuff about
church on stream. That's incredible.
Gaza, while the article on stream is proving him wrong.
After the takeover, Israel and Egypt imposed a blockade over the Strip as a way to stop them from importing weapons. And also any secondary materials that could be used to make weapons. Just by their own admission alone, we know that they have the capacity to produce their own weapons with support from Iran.
Yeah, no, I don't. I think that's bullshit too.
Yeah, it's bullshit. They're obviously not trying to stop weapons. I'm obviously not aware that Iran is being backed by Russia that has a vested interest in dismantling Western culture because, they're incredibly intentionally oppressive to their own people and want to spread that oppressiveness around the world. He's such a fucking baby.
Again, like, that's what Israel claims, and that's the reason why...
Well, that's what Israel claims, even though I know it's true. You know that it's true. Holy fuck.
That's what Hamas claims. That's what Hamas claims.
You fucking pussy. Get fucking owned, loser.
See it is right in front of him. And despite his bias being on full display, describing himself as a self-propagandist.
Make no mistake, the posters are propaganda. Of course they are. But just like I do propaganda, right?
Well, at the same time,
propaganda is like intentional misinformation against the other side, which is obviously true. Hasan is a propagandist.
Time claimed that his coverage has been even-handed.
Since day one, I have been incredibly even-handed and incredibly tempered in my coverage.
What the fuck was that?
I've been incredibly even-handed and incredibly tempered
in
my coverage for obvious reasons, even though inside of me a fire burns, okay?
Hasan is very...
What do you got, fucking, like an STD, dude?
Talented at making his mistakes seem inconsequential. And if somebody proves him wrong, he twists that into them being the bad guy. We all know Hasan jumped the gun when it comes to the Gaza hospital being bombed by Israel. And when his chat corrected him, he demonized them.
You bad faith, apartheid defending.
Oh, it's not apartheid. There are 1.5 million non-Jewish Arabs living in Israel. Just be clear about that. They're not oppressing people based on any type of race or anything. It's because they want him dead. They want the Jews dead. You know?
Bloodthirsty genocidal freak.
He then goes on to speculate missile technology because that's easier than admitting he's wrong.
If there's a deployment, like an activation that Israeli munitions have that can detonate way before it impacts the ground.
This is such a joke. Incredible. He has no clue what he's talking about. Hasan now has to deal with his fans clowning on him because he
yeah, I love you guys are trolling me. I regret supporting you, Papa, because you're honestly super dishonest when you talk about Hasan. He's literally just a silly goose and he's super cute, so unfortunately I cannot support you anymore. Incredible.
Based his opinion off absolutely nothing, but instead of owning up, he decides to shift the goalposts. Now it suddenly doesn't matter if Israel bombed a hospital because they're killing people either way.
Like ultimately, even if it wasn't Israel that bombed this hospital, which I do maintain it is, okay? But even if it wasn't, okay, 500 of the last confirmed kills did not come from Israel. So what? Are you just mad only when Hamas kills people then? Because that's what you're saying at that point. You know what I mean?
No, I'm mad both ways. The difference is that Israel's actively trying to reduce civilian casualties. Hamas is actively trying to get more Palestinian people killed. That's a fact. I don't know what you want me to tell you. When you have Israel sending in pamphlets, sending in alerts saying we're going to bomb this area, and this area, you need to evacuate. When you have Hamas trying to cut off the exit routes to that, which is what's happening because they want more Palestinians dead, because Hamas getting more Palestinians killed by Israel, because they're hiding their weaponry and their like missiles and everything inside of hospitals, inside of apartment buildings. They want to do that so that they can run a disinformation campaign to affect dumb fucking liberals that don't know dick about shit about this topic and have no interest in actually looking into what they're talking about. So they have a legitimately invested interest in it. And you want to know why? It's because Russia supports Iran. It's because Iran supports Hamas. And the reality is every one of you fucking liberals sitting here talking about, oh my God, the Russians influenced the campaign in 2016 to get Donald Trump elected. Somehow we know that happened then, but you can't possibly think that they'd be running disinformation campaigns now. You couldn't possibly believe that you are literally signal boosting disinformation when it comes to this topic. You couldn't even consider that you were part of the fucking disinformation machine, just like your fucking MAGA loving uncle that fucked his own cousin was doing the same fucking thing when it came to Russian misinformation and disinformation campaigns in 2016. But you can't parse through that because you think you're so fucking smart, but you're not. You're an idiot. So yeah.
You're saying literally, I do not care when Israel kills someone. I only care when Hamas kills someone.
No, it is not. Look how he demonizes and strawmans people who correct him for being wrong.
Looks like a fucking slack-jawed idiot in that picture.
If you're going to get mad and be like, dude, I can't believe the counter rocket barrage from the Hamas teams on the ground actually caused these 500 people to die in the fucking hospital, then what the fuck are you saying? What about the 3,000 people that died in the fucking week prior by Israeli bombs? It makes no sense. It makes literally no fucking sense. What are you saying?
The original claim was that Israel flattened a hospital, killing 1,000 people. It started riots and protests around the world. Hasan even knows it matters because he titled his stream after that. He acts like criticizing him for
it turned out it wasn't true.
Poorly covering a story is the same thing as justifying all of Israel's other attacks. It's not.
What about the 3,000 people that died in the fucking week prior by Israeli bombs.
He's hiding behind the deaths of Palestine.
In the
What is his chat saying? Fascists. Okay.
week prior by Israeli bombs.
He's hiding behind the deaths of Palestinians so he can't be criticized on the internet. Real brave, Hasan journalism at work. It's pathetic. You got it wrong. You can be held accountable for it. Stop shifting the goalposts. This thing he does where he gets mad at everyone but himself when he's wrong.
Oh, no!
Hasan journalism at work. This thing he does where he
was
gets
checking
mad
the
at
next,
everyone but
Mark.
himself when he's wrong is
I
embarrassing.
didn't know if he was going to talk about Ethan in this one, too.
And he should be criticized for it. I'm glad Ethan is doing it.
You just mad only when Hamas kills people then?
I'm mad when all people die, but I don't think he or many people seem to care when Hamas kills a bunch of their people. I mean, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, true.
I don't understand the theory that like the truth doesn't matter.
This is not the first time Hasan has done this. When Hasan was wrong about the invasion of Ukraine, he coped by spouting Russian propaganda.
Regardless of whether he wants it or not, he needs it as a buffer state. Exactly.
Dylan Burns, an actual on-the-ground journalist.
Oh, dude, this was wild, bro.
This guy is currently in Ukraine, would then show everyday Ukrainians these clips and they'd respond to it.
Russia
They called him a pussy because he's a pussy.
annexing its own territory that it's had, that its own territory full of its own people is not the same as NATO being like, we're going to turn your country into a base and put literal military bases and rockets into your country.
Most offensive thing, annex its own territory. Excuse me, what is Ukraine even? So this is the imperialist talk for supposedly anti-imperialist leftists who is like all about fighting colonialism and imperialism when only the West does it.
He's obviously not anti-imperialist, right? Because he
claims he is.
Well, he claims a lot of things, but he claims he cares about Ukrainian lives
He
too,
claims his hair's all natural, too. I know this guy's using fucking plugs.
which I don't think is true.
It is a 90-minute video blowing up Hasan's ridiculous rhetoric.
Like that you say
And his response was like, no, you're a bad guy.
they should secede territory to a fascist invasion.
It's not even secession of territory. It's like prior agreements that neither party has held on to. The real Ukrainian...
Sir, we had prior agreements before Minsk agreements.
That's a false agreement.
Again, Hasan will fucking cum himself over Russian collusion. But then when it comes to Russia running misinformation campaigns in their own country, somehow it's not true. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't work. The information doesn't add up.
He's referring to agreements where it obviously benefited Russia more
Yeah, it was coercion.
as the agreements that we should stick to, rather than the agreements that we had decades before that was fair on all accounts.
I used to think people were too harsh on him because I'd only really seen clips of him reacting to stupid reality shows, but these last few weeks have really been enlightening me on how radical he really is. Yeah, that's the thing, is that like I think a lot of people like myself are terminally online. No, but like myself, like I engage with Hasan's bullshit a lot. And it's not just trying to be negative. I usually watch what people ask me to watch. There are very few times where I'll agree with him, but there do exist. But he does such stupid shit. And so like I'm at a point where I'm already worked up because I know how disingenuous he is. But it's impossible for me to like reparse through years of information about Hasan and then be like, hey guys, here's why I feel the way that I feel. So
this video
Hey,
from
what's going on,
Dylan
brother?
came out a week ago. Hasan's response was to lie, claim that it never happened, say that it was all out of context.
Those of you said, chat, has he responded to Dylan Burns' post, by
No,
the way,
fuck that
before
guy.
getting clapped? If you think that I would entertain such a psychotic thing ever in my life,
as to listen to actual Ukrainians, ridiculous.
I don't know what to tell you.
How is having actual Ukrainians engaging with your arguments psychopathic? It's objectively good for the online conversation, but he frames it as bad because they disagree with him.
There is nothing more perverted and psychopathic than literally putting Ukrainian people in Ukraine that are being bombed, okay,
And then asking their opinion on stuff.
by an invading force that is unjustifiably occupying their country,
Even though I've said it's justifiable. It's a buffer state.
making Ukrainians sit down and watch my clips out of fucking context in a way that you have framed it to have them go, oh wow, how fucked up this guy.
He'll never show what's out of context because nothing is. He's just lying again. And because it's Hasan, he then has to demonize Dylan for doing actual on-the-ground journalism by calling him a war tourist pervert.
I don't know what to...
Well, yeah, but you got to understand, Hasan is on the ground in Palestine right now, dude. You understand?
Say it basically. It basically betrays the position that you have. Like, oh, I genuinely care about this. That's why I went out there, not because I'm like a fucking war tourist pervert.
It's the exact same response that red pillars give when they're under legitimate ridicule. Claim that it's all out of context, hoping their own audience doesn't go and actually look it up for themselves.
True.
And to some degree it works. I've received many comments claiming
80% of these clips
go and actually look it up for themselves. And to some
80% of these clips are taken out of wildly out of context. Hasan has many things to fair to criticize, and you somehow missed most of them. No, he didn't. This is what I'm saying. They don't know the context. They just listen to what Hasan says. They don't actually watch him all the time. They just like sit in the fucking chat and like fucking jerk off and like, oh my God, I love this guy so much. He's literally just the Jonas Brothers to like fucking weird little political 15-year-olds.
some degree it works. I've received many comments claiming I took things out of context, but never actually showing what it is. Why? Because nothing.
This one says, a lot of these clips seemed out of context. Based on what? Because Hasan said so. What does seemed mean to you? So you don't know if they are or not. You're just saying that they seemed out of context.
Nothing's out of context. It's cope from him and his entire audience. If mainstream media is expected to correct stories when they're blatantly wrong, why shouldn't Hasan? He's the largest left-leaning political streamer. He has more live viewers than the BBC. His blatant disregard for
I'd prefer BBCs, you know what I'm saying?
actual reporting has consequences. When talking about a 23-year-old German girl who was last seen stripped and mutilated in a Hamas photo,
That's
Hasan's
disgusting.
fans disregarded any news surrounding her potential murder, saying she wasn't stripped, she was wearing the exact same outfit in the truck as she was at the rave. I genuinely believe Hamas carried her out of the concert to get her to a medical treatment center. The outrageous claim that she was raped is absolutely not true.
Yeah, you're right. The terrorist organization would never rape people.
This guy gets his evidence from the same place as Hasan. They completely fabricated. It's a widespread belief on Hasan's Reddit that what Hamas is doing isn't terrorism. His Reddit mods are banning people even calling Hamas terrorists, saying it's a prejudice statement against marginalized groups.
No, Hamas is a terrorist organization. Sorry, pussy. And if any of the mods in Hasan's chat went to Palestine, they'd be murdered instantly because a bunch of them are fucking LGBTQ members, which isn't an insult, but they will kill you over there. I don't know what you want to tell you. Like, holy fuck.
My favorite part is the mod hitting the band guy with, try Marxism sometime. It helps a lot with understanding people and the things they do.
I mean, maybe if Marxists and communists weren't such preachy, dumb little fuck faces, people would start to actually consider communism. But when communism goes hand in hand, apparently, with running defense for a terrorist organization, Hamas, all of a sudden things get a little fucking weird.
Okay, dude. Only on Hasan's Reddit could that be considered an own. Hasan's audience acts just like Hasan. Shocker. Hasan's Twitch mod has gone on the record saying that Israelis should dodge military service, otherwise it's the equivalent of the Nuremberg trials, which was 24 of the worst Nazis being put on trial after World War II.
I'm just personally not a fan of you know, I had to do what I was forced to do it. I feel like you start getting really close to like Nuremberg trial type shit there.
So she's trying to compare anyone drafted into the IDF mandatory conscription to being a fucking Nazi.
I'm not
That's insane. Holy fuck.
surprised his audience feels this way. His reporting is factually lacking, demonizing, and emotionally charged.
It's insane that like Ethan's finally waking the fuck up, but he's still an asshole, so I don't know what to tell you. It's hard to like this person. By comparing him to like a literal dog shit human being, Hasan, Ethan's amazing. But outside of that, like what are we really talking about here?
Radicalizes people. When Ethan confronted Hasan about his audience nonstop calling him racist and genocidal, Hasan said he can't do anything about it.
Like, do you care that your chat is calling me racist? Do you make any attempt to modify?
I have not looked at my chat.
Moderate that at all?
I have not looked at my chat.
Hasan does everything he has to and not hold his chat accountable for bullying his supposed friend.
At all, but you.
I
have
just
to
opened it, but don't you have moderators? Do you care at all about what your audience says about me?
You literally implied that Jewish Voice for Peace would be akin to a capo in this circumstance.
Oh, you are fucking so bad faith for saying that, and fuck you for even like putting that out in the world. I'm fucking shocked that you don't care that people in your chat are saying, "Who the fuck is this child? Cold, arrogant,
Ethan,
as fuck."
I love you, but
he doesn't, dude. Hasan doesn't even like Ethan. Like, can we just be clear? Hasan is using Ethan because he wants to, so that he can be fucking like he can just push his influence out further. He just wants to be on Ethan's podcast, not because he likes Ethan, but because he knows he has influence into a new audience and he can get paid easily. That's all he's doing.
There's only so much I can do.
Yeah, if you have time to ban everybody in your chat who links you to my video, then you could ban
Yeah, why would he hold him accountable when he agrees with them? Yeah, exactly.
people calling Ethan a racist. He doesn't because he's okay with that narrative. His audience, instead of engaging with what I say, demonizes me, calling me a Zionist, saying the only reason I would criticize Hasan is because he supports Palestine. I'm gonna guess you only care about him now because he's anti-Israel. If Hasan was anti-Palestine and his coverage—
I mean, Hasan is anti-Israel. He believes in one-state solution, which means Israelis are fucked. Like Israel's never going to dissolve their state. That was just a stupid thing to think.
was just as bad, I would make the same video. He covers news for a living, meaning he should put the bare minimum effort in. Hasan likes to push the narrative that you can say horrible stuff about Palestinians, but not Israelis, because the news is only ever pro-Israel.
You cannot be callous in your celebration
oh my God.
of Israeli civilians being slaughtered, but you absolutely can and always are callous and bloodthirsty when talking about the plight of Palestinians. And you say whatever the fuck you want, like they're subhuman animals, they're Nazis that all deserve to die, all the Nazi babies. This double standard exists.
Who's saying that? Nobody's saying that. Nobody's saying that. Most people are saying that Hamas, rightfully so, is a terrorist organization and that they're killing their own people, which is a fact.
This double standard will always exist.
It's not.
What is a Zionist in the context of this war? When you're called a Zionist, it's a slur. Like, that's the point at this point. It's just like, oh, you're a Zionist, basically meaning you're like a fucking piece of shit. That's it. If you like, I've been called a Zionist for saying I support a Jewish state, but also a Palestinian state. It doesn't matter anymore. I've literally said I think that like there should be a two-state solution where fucking Israel pays reparations to Palestine. I'm still a fucking Zionist. I'm a piece of shit. That's all it comes down to.
The double standard, pro-Israeli people are facing tons of criticism. Ben Shapiro gets ratioed every day. Destiny is constantly being taken out of context by Hasan's editors.
Honestly, I'm pro-genocide. Like, it sounds really shitty, but like, I think that Israel should just—
Yeah, I saw this. Can you give me the actual context if this is out of context? Because this doesn't seem out of context.
Robert's fucking borders about where it is now, and basically Palestinians can go live in another place.
Ethan Klein, who's super—
Well, can you show me the in context? I just want to know. When I hear this, I don't see this is out of context. What's the context?
By Hasan's editors.
Honestly, I'm pro-genocide. Like, it sounds really shitty, but like, I think that Israel should just draw its fucking borders about where it is now, and basically Palestinians can go live in another place.
Ethan—
What's the context of that, though? Because it sounds pretty shitty.
Klein, who's super supportive of Palestine, gets called a racist on the daily. His even-handed coverage would continue when people would hang posters of Israelis that were held hostage by—
What's the context of that?
Hamas, leading to pro-Palestinian protesters tearing down the signs.
These are ripping posters down. These are innocent civilians in Israel. Fuck Israel, bitch. Fuck you. These are our family members. We have family there. Fuck you.
This was wrong for these girls to do, but the video received massive support online. People are acting nuts on this issue.
That's why they're doing it.
All around. But what's worse is Hasan pushing the notion that the only reason people would care and hang photos of hostages is to bait Palestinian protesters into looking bad.
The point of these posters, the real point of these posters, is so that someone goes and fucking tries to rip it off so they can fucking film it and go, look at these scary Arabs. They hate it. They have no interest in Israeli lives.
It's always
They don't care. Like, just in general, people are dehumanizing each other on both sides.
People only do things because they're racist. That's his logic.
His logic is just to downplay as much as possible. He's a propaganda machine. He's admits it. His point is to downplay Israeli and Jewish hate as much as possible and upplay the hate on Palestinian as much as possible, even though like the public narrative like literally comes on all over Palestinians. Like the progressive public narrative literally is pure pro-Palestine, kick the Jews out, from the land to the sea. We play this bullshit game where that's not an anti-Semitic dog whistle. It is, objectively. Sorry, Palestinians are saying that because they want the Jews off that land. Now, I get why they might say it, but you're sitting here like, no, it's not. Yes, it is. It's from the land to the sea. Palestinians think Palestine is the entirety of that entire strip, not just like the Gaza Strip. They think it's the entire place. Gaza Strip, from the land to the sea. All of it's Palestine. They want to kick them out. They don't like Jews in the Middle East. Where the fuck are they going to go?
This conspiracy, like most of Hasan's breaking news coverage, is backed by absolutely nothing. He then tries to start an actual psyop to bait pro-Israeli people into looking bad.
So the worst thing you could do in that situation is rip up the posters, okay? Because you'll be caught on camera. Best thing you can do in that situation is put the many different names of the Palestinian children that have been slaughtered. Put posters of them up everywhere.
Sure, you should do that, but you shouldn't be taking down other posters of other people that are died or kidnapped.
Zionists come and fucking try to rip those off. Do the same thing. but in reverse. That's it.
He makes defenses, he just doesn't need to.
Because he wants to rile up tensions because it gives him content to talk about.
He argues that Hamas, the terrorist group, doesn't hide behind the civilian population.
They do.
That's why it is
it's a fact.
Ridiculous. The idea that like they're human
Hey, how you
shields
doing?
is such a fucking insane thing.
It's literally like they're doing that. It's a fact.
How much do you believe the human shield stuff? No, of course I don't believe the human shield
he's just
stuff.
an idiot.
What do you mean? I've told no, that's ridiculous.
It's not ridiculous. The IDF there's shown of like trucks blocking off of Hamas blocking off exit routes that the IDF's like, hey, we're dropping in pamphlets, leave, and the Hamas won't let them. They want them to stay there. They want more. Hamas wants dead Palestinians. Hamas wants Palestinians to die so that they can run these disinformation campaigns to make it seem like Israel's trying to kill civilians. That's just a fact. I don't know what to tell you. That's just what it is. That's just life. That is the life of Palestinians.
No, even if I were to believe that they are like purposely fucking putting humans in
Okay.
front of rockets, okay? It's ridiculous to actually shoot through the hostage.
When confronted on just being wrong about this, he makes up a new reason, saying that it's densely populated, implying there's not enough real estate.
When you say, why does Hamas mix their infrastructure with civilians in like the most densely populated open air prison? What the fuck are you saying?
He's just desperately trying to. Another 2 million Palestinians live in Gaza, described regularly as an open-air prison without adequate access to power, water, health, with a collapsing economy, and with no ability to freely travel to the rest of Palestine or outside world.
Where is the government supposed to be? It is a false notion. It is a complete falsehood, a fabrication to justify the endless bloodshed, to say they're using human shields.
I don't get why he fabricates arguments for Hamas. They're very upfront with why they do it. It's not a secret.
The fact that you're down here in tunnels that have been built under civilian areas, you're launching rockets from—
Oh yeah, that's another thing that Hamas did. Hamas took like a ton of fucking money that was supposed to be like relief, or a ton of money and supplies that was supposed to be relief for Palestinians, and they took it so they can build a fucking underground tunnels so they can more deeply root their literal terror cell into the fucking ground. They took like resources away from their own people that the IDF let into there to give access to resources to Palestinians, and they fucking stole it so they can create underground network of tunnels to help kill more Jewish people. And then you're like, well, how come Israel is so strict in its regulation of what goes in and out of Palestine? Because of this. Okay.
from civilian areas as well. Doesn't that mean that you're endangering Palestinians that you claim to be fighting for?
We are sacrificing ourselves and our times and everything we do in order to ensure a better future for our children.
But are you also not sacrificing the civilians that are directly above you?
Of course, we don't want them to get killed or to get targeted, but this is the only choice we have. This is what we can do, and they are supporting us.
Yeah, he doesn't really seem concerned about
And
real—
just to be clear, like this isn't. It's not that they need to do this for their future. They don't want to live alongside Jewish people, like the terrorist group Hamas. They don't want to do it. That's why they do this shit. It's not like they couldn't coexist. They could. They don't want to. They've been given multiple they've been given multiple times to come to the table for an agreement, and they just always they don't even bother.
estate here. Why deny the facts? Why not just criticize Israel?
I'm a propagandist.
Well, no.
For the record.
Just like I do propaganda. I need you to understand my goal is to parse through information and misinformation.
You are the misinformation. You get everything wrong. And instead of correcting it, you shift the goalposts, lie, demonize anyone who corrects you. Anyone else would have been banned by now or forced to correct the record. That's the real double standard.
Can I please fuck you? Please, oh my god, I'm so desperate. I wanna fuck you so bad. I'm gonna fucking kill myself.
Hasan is terrible at his job, terrible at covering the news.
He's great at his job. People still gravitate towards him. He's in a spot where he can constantly spew and spout misinformation, and it just makes his audience like him more because he's seen as a victim.
To people
That's
who
the
disagree
incredible
with
thing about being fucking Hasan. It's insane.
them will outright lie to his audience over and over again, knowing they'll believe him. So why is he so popular? Because he plays the—
Because he does that, and then he's constantly, people are giving him negative attention, and it makes him popular. That's what it comes down to. And people are like, oh, you're right.
People's anger and emotion when it comes to sensitive topics. If you're angry about Palestinians' treatment, he will frame everyone else as genocidal for you.
Fuck you. Fuck you. You genocidal scumbag. You fucking piece of shit. You garbage, monstrous scumbag.
If you're angry about police brutality, you can watch them laugh at a cop getting shot.
Watch out! Are you okay?
Ooh, funny death. Funny pains, dude.
There's never going to be facts, receipts, nuance.
He doesn't even laugh genuinely. Like, you know that it's a fake laugh. You know?
Because he's only there to farm outrage. He should be seen as nothing more than left-leaning Alex Jones.
And rip the Palestinian flag.
Oh my god, he's crying!
Off of her.
What a fucking bitch!
It's a fake cry. It's a fake cry.
Subscribe to the channel. Also, my last video was demonetized, so buy a Ridge wallet or support me on Patreon so I can be a more independent creator. Phoebes, Crimson Glass, Riveter, Christina Vina, Mac Monkey, Twin Kobex, Bo Blacks, Necro Valley, Stefan Bildman, Friday 13, Abby Blackbird, The Confusing Opinion, Eddie Bizzle, Tiz McFitz, Christopher H, BCCS22, and the Mega Homies, Reynolds Hughes.
All right. So Nick, no, dude, we have to hear the Papa Guts.
Flag.
Eddie Biz, Hellas, G, Exo Irish, Latchkey Gothboy, Cyber Katie, Lori Loaded, Papa Gut.
Beautiful stuff.